Hey everybody, it's Jason with the Boardgame Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a game called The Council of Blackthorn. Council of Blackthorn is a game designed by Jay Meyer from Great Northern Games. Plays 2 to 6 players, 45 to 90 minutes. The less players, the quicker it goes, obviously, that whole spiel. And effectively, what you're trying to do in this game is you are trying to have influence across 4 different guilds to try to become the new king or something. Is their story? Do I care about the story? No, but I'll try to find out. You must build influence with the kingdom's factions to expand your political influence, secretly gaining power, spreading rumors, and convincing your rivals that you are not a threat. Rise to power in the king's council, weave your political web, spread rumors, get your arch rival beheaded. It's been a good day. So that's kind of the theme. You're trying to become the new king or just be the new person in charge, but you don't want to be the most treasonous while doing that. So this is a card game, effectively. You're going to be using cards to move you up on one of these 4 different tracks, making buildings that are going to give you special powers and actions, and it has a decent amount of take that. So, not something I normally talk about, but let's go down to the table, check it out. Alright, so here's a game of Council of Blackthorn, all set up for 3 players. To set up, you're going to put out the board here. You're going to put all of the influence tokens in the middle, so you got piles of 1, 2, 3, and 5. Then you're going to give each player a player ability. So in this case, we have Master of Shadows, Lord of War, there's something of coin, Master of Coin, I believe. Yeah. And each of these abilities may have, or these characters may have some kind of starting differentiator from everybody else, special ability, all that kind of thing. And then you're going to adjust accordingly. So this player starts on level 1 of the Legion track, and then you're going to put all of your tokens on the appropriate 0 space. Then each player normally gets 3 treason cards, except for this player, they start with none. And each player, and treason cards are these. I have them off screen because they don't really matter for the game. They just matter at the end, and we'll get to that. And each player normally gets 5 of these cards, but this player starts with 6. And then we're ready to go. Alright, so now, first thing that happens is we're going to determine who's going to be the right hand of the king. I'm actually using this fancy ring from Indulgence. The token that comes with this is just a little disc that has a ring on it, but why not use this? And then they're going to roll all these dice. And then we'll start playing. Alright, so we got 0. And these are not normal D6s. There's 0s, 1s, and 2s, and 3 sides. Okay? Then we're ready to go. So on your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to follow this turn sequence. You're going to complete a building construction. If you've built a building on the previous turn, you will turn it upright and it's active. Then you're going to take any action that you want based on a building that you have in front of you or your character ability. All we have right now to get started are the actions on our character abilities. So, I have pay 2 influence, give 1 of your treason cards to another target player randomly. I don't have any, so I can't do any of that. Then the next thing I can do is I can play a card. So that's the crux of the game, is playing cards and moving up on these tracks. So here's what the cards look like. I'll just show you this one. The cards are going to have a color, which represents one of the tracks. So this is a guild card. When you play a card, you can do one of 2 different things with it. Well, there's 2 different types of cards. There's buildings and there's allies. And an ally looks like this. Buildings have points. Allies do not have points on the side. When you play a card, you're going to be looking at the die that's next to that track. So for example, if I play this red card, all right, I play this red card, which is noble. I will move my token up 1 space there. You're trying to fight to get as high up on this track as you can to score the most points. Then, if I'm on this track, which is the guild track, at that level, I can take this ability down here. Now, there are a few exceptions. If you go where there's a 3, it's on the back here. If you play where there's a 3, so say this was a 3, I would move up 3. I have to draw 2 of these treason cards, and then even if I can meet the text requirement, the text automatically fails because you're getting a lot of influence, so there's some kind of punishment for that. And if it's a 0, you don't get to move up on the track. You get to randomly get rid of 1 of your treason cards, so these cards, to any other player, And then you can automatically have the tech succeed. So if you're building a building, it would come in construction. And if you're playing an ally, you just do what the bottom says and then discard the card. Now, if you play a building card and you can't fulfill the requirement for building, you can just move up on the track and discard the card like normal. And that's how the tracks work. Seems confusing, but it's not that bad. So we'll play a card. Let's do... Man, all these dice are terrible. All right. Let's just go ahead and start moving up the red track. So I'm going to play this ally. I don't have 2 on the guild, so I'm not going to do the text, but I am going to move up 1 on this track. Then this card gets discarded. Then I'm going to draw back up to my hand size of 5, and I can discard 1 other card if I want to. I have a lot of buildings. Let's get rid of 1. So I'm going to get rid of a building. Now I'm going to draw back up to 5, hopefully get some stuff that I can use. Okay. Then you're going to score for control. At the end of your turn, you're always going to score influence based on where you are on the tracks. If you're in the lead, as this person is here, you're going to get 2 tokens, 2 influence. If you're tied for first and off of 0, so you have to at least be at 1, you would get 1 point. Unless you're a special ability, which I don't think we have out here, you score differently. But that's that. And then that is the turn. Then the turn it would normally go around. I'm just going to go down the line because it's easier. Now it's this player's turn. So let's look at their abilities. The text effects on each ally legion you play is auto-triggered, even if the legion die is 3. So cards that you play that are black, that this player plays that are black, always succeed. Start the game at a level, up a level, did that. And our base hand size is 6 cards. All right. And their action is pay 2 and reduce a fraction score of a target by 1. All right. So that's mean. Some of the abilities are mean. So what do they want to do? They want to move up on a track. So let's go ahead and start let's go ahead and do this. So all these are automatically successful. So they're going to play a building. When you play a building, it comes in exhausted or in construction. Then you're going to move up on the appropriate track. So the die is a 1. We move up on a 1. Then they can discard another card if they want to. And I think they'll get rid of this one. And they'll draw 2. Get their hand size of 6. And then they can score. So they look at all their markers here. This is the only one that they're up off of 0 on. So they get 2 points. And these stay face down so no one really knows how much score you have. Then it's over to this player. Let me get their card so I can actually read it. You do not score treason points for 3 bribes. First building played auto triggers. And then gain 1 faction level in any faction if the guild die is a 1. Not a 1. All right, so before we go any farther in this player's turn, let's look at some of the treason cards. Treason cards are valued 0, 1, 2, or 3. Now, the reason these are important, at the end of the game, whoever has the most value of treason, so numbers here added together, automatically loses the game. You get your head cut off by the king. So you want to get rid of those throughout the game. And in this case, this is perfect. That's 0. So they have 3 cards. Looks like they have a lot of treason, but they don't. So you're trying to jockey those around to other players, not get them, get rid of them as much as you can because they're bad. Now, so when that player doesn't score the 3 treason, those are the most points, so they can ignore all the 3s. They have 2 zeros. They have a 0 and a 3, which are both 0, which is pretty nice. All right, so now back to this player. They're going to take their turn, and they need to move on a track. No one's doing this one. Let's do peasant. So they're going to play the priestess. They're not at 4 here, so that track doesn't matter. So they're going to move up here. Discard this card. They didn't want to do an action because they don't want to do it right now. And then they're going to draw up another. They're not going to discard. And they will score. So they'll get 2 for this, and that's it. So 2 points. All right, then that's the end of the round. First player passes to the next player. And again, I'm going in the opposite order. I understand, just for example. Then first player is going to re-roll all the dice. Hopefully we get some better stuff here. All right, there we go. Now we can actually move. And then they're going to keep playing. We'll play through one more round, and I'll tell you how the game ends and all that stuff. So this player's turn, their action. Oh, first thing they'll do is they'll build their building. Now their building is in effect, and it has a special ability. No opponent with a Legion influence value that is lower than you can target you with a Legion card, and this is worth 5 points at the end of the game, which is pretty nice. They don't want to do their action, so they're just going to go ahead and play a card, and I think they're going to play this one. So this is an ally. This player always activates these abilities on the Legion track because that's their special ability. So they'll move up 2 because it dies at a 2. Then they get to take 5 from a target, and I think they want to steal from this player if they have 5. They do have 5, so they're taking all their money. So they take 5 influence from them, which is nice. And then lower the same target's nobility 1 level. They can't lower it. Oh yeah, they can. So they'll lower that 1 level. They hit them pretty hard. All right, and then this card gets discarded. Then they can draw back up, which they will, and they'll score. So they're not here, not here, not here. Right there, 2 points. So that's their turn. All right, then back to this player. All right, action. Gain 1 faction level in any... Nope, the guild die is not at a 1. Pay 1 to reroll. I don't want to reroll anything. Okay, so let's do this so you can see this. They're going to play a Whispers. So a way a Whispers works is that player is going to gain 1 level on any single faction. So I think what they want to do is they'll bump up here. Then the player with the highest faction score in each faction takes a treason card. So we'll start with Legion. They get a treason card, which is the Lord of War. Nothing. This player that played this card is immune. They're immune, so that's it. Then the player with the most buildings also gets a treason card. That's this player, so blue gets another treason card. So they really had it out for blue there. All right, and then this card goes away. They'll draw back up to their hand size, and they'll score for control. So 2, 4 points. And that is it for that player. All right. Then back to this player. There's no zeros. Okay, what's their ability? Pay 2. They don't have any treason cards yet. All right, fine. So they need to move up on a track because they're not getting any points. So let's do yellow. They'll do yellow. So they're going to play this. It's a building. They don't have the 5 on the peasant track to activate it, so they're going to ignore that. But they do get to move up 2 on this track. Then this card will get discarded. They can draw. Let's get rid of one of these. Get a couple more cards. And then they're going to score. And their score is 0, 2, 0, 0. So they get 2 influence. So then they have some influence again. Then turn order will move. These will get re-rolled. So 3, 2, 2, 0. All right, and that's how the game's going to keep playing until one thing happens, and that'll trigger the end of the game. When 3 of these tokens make it up to the end here, that triggers the end of the game. You'll finish the round. Now, normally when a token gets to this space, it can't be bumped out, and only one person can be in 13. All the other spaces, multiple people can be in. There is some ability on some cards and a character that lets you break that rule, but that's normally how it goes. Then once this happens, finish the round, and then the game is going to be over. There is a scoring sheet that's you're going to go through, and you're going to score each of these tracks. You get points for where you are, the number above the top. You're going to get points for all your built buildings. You're going to get points for all your tokens, and then whoever has the most of this, even if they have the most points, automatically loses. And that's kind of how, that's the game. So that is how you play Council of Blackthorn. Let's go up the top, see what we think about it. All right, well, that was Council of Blackthorn. So we were out doing some Black Friday shopping one Black Friday. I don't know, we've had this game for a long time. And this game was on a deep, deep clearance table. And I mean, look at this box. Doesn't that look like a box that I would love? The game was maybe $8, $9. And I thought, you know, it's 2 to 6 players. It's got some cool bits. It's got tracks on the box, on the board. It's got to be good, right? So we bought it, played it, and I enjoyed it. Now, let's talk about why I enjoyed it. It's not to take that. It's not the moving up on the tracks. It's the in-game mechanism. But before we get to that, let's talk about the components. What you saw in this game is the components. It's a lot of cardboard. I used a fancy ring from Indulgence, but it's basically just a disc with a ring on it. A lot of cardboard and cards. That's it. And the board. That's it. The cardboard's nice. The cards are nice quality cards, so no issues there. But, I mean, the components are not great. It has this art throughout. So if you like this art, you like the art. If not, you won't. But I like the art. I like the production. I think it works well for what this game is, which is effectively a card game with a board that's bigger than necessary. Now, let's talk about the game. So, you saw how the game played. It's playing cards, moving up on tracks, trying to score the most amount of points. But the reason that I wanted to cover this game in the channel is because I've really been getting into these in-game conditions where someone has the most of something, they lose, or someone doesn't contribute enough, they lose. And this has that. Those treason cards are amazing. I love it. You can take amazing actions with those treason in this game, but you're going to get treason cards. So you're trying to figure out ways to get rid of your treason cards, do the best you can without getting as many treason cards. Maybe take a special character that's going to help you get rid of treason cards to other players. I love it. And I also like that when you give somebody a treason card, it's random. So, you know, you're going to shuffle your cards and pass it. You may have 6 zeros and a 3. And you shuffle it, randomize it, you give away your 3. Or you could have all 3s and 1 0, shuffle it, give away your 0. I love that. I love it. I don't even really look at the treason too much because there's not really, you know, you can discard it at points. Maybe I'll look at it, but outside of that, doesn't matter really. You're just trying to not get a bunch of it, because since you're passing stuff around randomly, it doesn't matter if you're looking at it or not, because you can't do anything about it. So there's that. And I also like to play it where we discard it face down, so you don't know what people are discarding and any of that. So the treason is always just unknown, and I love that because you're doing all these things, you're whispering, you're causing rumors, you're causing strife, but you're doing it in secret. So yes, you're going to get treasonous, but you may not know just how much treason or suspicion you're casting upon yourself, and I love that. So I like this game. It's not my favorite game in the world. It probably has a little bit too much take that for me, honestly. But I will play it. I like playing it, and it's pretty quick. So the chaos is just going to punch you in the face, and then it's going to be over. So that's King of Blackthorn from Great Northern Games. I'm Jason with the Boardgame Mechanics, and as always, keep gaming.